Hi, it's Will Swain from Marketing Results, which can be found at marketing-results.com.au. And in this short video, I'm going to share with you some strategies for boosting the dollar value of every lead or sale from your website. And on the screen in front of you, you'll see a graph that explains why this strategy is important. Before you look at increasing your transaction size, you have expenses, which are the red bar, and revenues, which is the purple bar, and the profit is what's left over. When you look at increasing your average transaction size, what happens normally is that your expenses remain the same, or if you're selling a digital product, or if you're selling a physical product, then there will be some increase in expense, but not nearly as much as the leap in revenues, which climb a lot higher, thereby giving you much more profit. So just by employing this strategy, you can often increase profit by 200, 300, 400% simply by keeping your expenses relatively stable and increasing your revenues much more dramatically. So let's look at a few different approaches to do this. So here are a few approaches to increase transaction size. Now I think I've spoken about one or two of them before, but there's about 4 or 5 distinct things that we'll look at in this video. First thing you need to understand is the reason people don't buy more or faster is you're not letting them. Often we unconsciously actually make it harder for the prospect to buy. So here are some strategies for making it easier for the prospect to buy and more conveniently up front, which is all a part of increasing your transaction size. So for an e-commerce application, if you have a web store or you're actually transacting a credit card, the first idea is to offer product levels or options. So instead of just having the standard product, you have the standard, the deluxe, and the superior. 2 or 3 options is ideal. More is confusing. I've seen people with 8 or 10 options, and you're just going to confuse the heck out of prospects. Another strategy is to add a post-purchase upsell or a one-time offer to reconsider, and I'm going to show you an example of that a little bit later. This is a strategy I've never shared before. For lead generation applications where you're generating the inquiry, you can add an escalation offer. So if you have an opt-in or an autoresponder series, on the thank you page you offer something bigger. If you have a contact form on the thank you page, you offer an opportunity to perhaps have a paid consultation or to expedite your request or to do something that indicates a greater level of interest from the standard inquiry. You can also create a second autoresponder series or additional opt-ins or other entry-level products to basically achieve the goal of segmenting your list. So you go from, say, 100 people who are opting into something to a sub-list of 20 people who actually want to opt into your second e-course or end up buying the entry-level product. That way you can easily identify who's keen, who's the 20% who's going to drive 80% of your profits down the track. And you can also use a survey to score leads, and we're going to look at a very interesting lead scoring example toward the end of this presentation as well. Okay, so let's look at some examples of some of the things I've just mentioned. So in an e-commerce setting, you should offer more order options. So you might have seen this before, but basically this is the order page for an online information product, and this is all one page that's just been split in the middle because of space considerations. But basically, instead of just ordering the one product for $27, there's an option 1 where you can order the product for $27, or an option 2 where you can get 2 products for $44. So it's just a simple upsell. Now by deploying this strategy, that increased profits by 52% because a proportion of people decided on the higher priced product, and we actually got more people purchasing. So that's the first idea. Second idea is what I call a last chance offer. So what we did was we offered prospects the 2 options, either the 1 product for $27 or the 2 products for $44, and then they make their choice. Now to the people who actually just chose the simple product for $27, we have this on the thank you page, which basically says, thanks for ordering, and here's just one last chance to order the second product for just $27 instead of, just $17 instead of $27. So he basically just made the offer to them again in a slightly different way, and then said, yes or no. Now, what we found was a very interesting result. 1 in 6 people who initially said no to the upsell went on to accept the upsell proposition when presented with a last chance offer. So every single person who then accepts the offer produces an incremental $17 into the order or into the revenue without any increase in expenses. Now, $17 might sound like a fairly small amount, and it is, but in a high transaction business, if you're making hundreds and hundreds of transactions or sales a month, then those incremental $17 start to add up quite nicely with no increase in expense. Let's look at this strategy in a lead generation scenario. So in other words, you're not actually transacting a credit card, you're just generating the lead. In this example, on the left-hand side, you'll see step 1, which is an opt-in for a free report called How to Build a High Throughput Sales Process. And we ask the user to put in their first name and their email address. On the right-hand side, you'll see the thank you page. And in this page, you'll see a form on the right-hand side, which has more fields. So what we actually do is pre-populate the first name and email into that second field, into the second form, and ask them to enter a few more details, address, phone number, etc., so we can send a more advanced pack with a greater value. This is a simple segmentation strategy. We're looking for the 1 in 5 people who want to request the more advanced pack, but at the same time we want the other 4 in 5 who just give their email address, so we can follow up with them and nurture those people toward an inquiry or a transaction down the track. The last strategy I just want to quickly cover with you is lead scoring. Now, a colleague of mine sells printed T-shirts to the university market in the US. So sororities, fraternities, and other on-campus organizations order T-shirts, and this is actually a pretty big business. So he uses a series, basically a survey, to score the leads. So when people make an inquiry, he asks them, what office they hold in the organization, how many people are in the organization, whether or not they might have bought anything from them before, and a range of questions that he knows are correlated with eventual sales down the track. And to each of the answers, he uses a program to automatically assign a score. Now, at the lowest threshold, and if people request a sample pack, he has a $5 sample pack that he sends out. So it costs him about $5. It has a T-shirt, it has an order form, a letter, and he just sends it out. Now, if the responses on the survey are the right kind of responses, he has the next tier, which is a more involved or advanced pack that he sends out. So we'll have a few different T-shirts, a few different designs, some order forms, direct mail letters, brochures, a few stickers, that sort of thing. And that pack actually costs him $15 to put together. And then for the most qualified leads, or the leads with the highest scores, and these would be people who are perhaps the president of the organization, who are the decision maker, who have large numbers of people in their organization, who have a time frame to purchase in the next month, for example. Those people get the highest score, and he actually sends out a bumper pack of stuff to them, which actually costs him $80. So it's tons of T-shirts in different sizes. It's stickers, brochures, order forms, and other cool stuff that his target market are going to like. And that pack actually costs him $80. So there's a 16 to 1 difference in the treatment that the most highly qualified leads get compared with the least qualified leads. Now, there are actually relatively simple ways to do this sort of thing, but it does show you the potential of knowing who the 20% of your customers are who drive 80% of the profits, and who the 4% of your customers are that will drive 64% of the profits. And that's just an extrapolation from the 80-20 rule. So I've shared with you 4 or 5 strategies for increasing value after the click. If you'd like implementation assistance with this, we can be contacted on 1300 799 737 or via the web marketing-results.com.au/contact.